Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Learnamytes, where learning is for all and all that we do is for learning. I hope you have subscribed and you will like and share this video. Today is the day for Friday Matinee. So let's review a cult movie from the 2000s. Let's begin. दिल चाहता है कभी न बीते चमकीले दिन दिल चाहता है. Well, the movie that I'm talking about released in August 2001 called Dil Chahta Hai. The story was very simple and the story was of three friends. This is, in a way, if we look at it, this is a coming of age movie. If I relate back to this movie, I'll say that I could relate with the central characters as I went through various stages in my life. So the three central characters, one was Akash, played by Amir Khan. The second was Siddharth or Sid, played by Akshay Khanna. And the last one was Sameer, played by Saif Ali Khan. Now why do I call this as a coming of age film and how do I relate with these characters? So with Sameer, I would say that that is where I was, mostly in between, let's say the age group of about 20 to 25 or 26. I was like Sameer, carefree and trying to find out the meaning of relationships, love, and at the same time, really finding out what life actually wants and what do I want from my life. Akash, yes, it was the age when I transformed from, let's say, about 26 to 36, where I was a little cynical about, in general, about relationships, especially when it comes to others, and not believing in love and things like that. And finally, as I matured, as I believe that I grew up, I'm not going to tell you what is my age, but I suddenly start feeling more like Siddharth or Sid. Where I have started taking things the way they are, really understanding the meaning of what things mean. So this is why I call it as a coming of age film. The film was directed by a 27-year-old young man called Farhan Akhtar. He belonged to the illustrious family of writers. Both his parents, obviously they are very well known, the iconic writers of Hindi film industry, Javed Akhtar and Hani Irani. Now, a trivia about the film says that these were actually the pages from Farhan's diary and his road trip to New York and Goa. So, I'm sure that he must be writing his diary much in detail because some of the scenes were just mind-blowing and amazing. This was actually a fun film. But at the same time, the film also gave us a glimpse of what youth was and what happened in the late 2000s when things became a little different from the earlier generations. If you look at the story is very, very simple. So there are these three friends, like I said, Akash, Siddharth, Sid, and Sameer. Sameer is a typical guy, and he's really trying to understand the meaning of true love and often falls for girls, falls in love with them and is unable to really find out what true love is. Akash is a little cynical when it comes to relationships, especially love. Otherwise, he's a great fun-loving guy. Siddharth is far more mature for his age. He's a painter by passion, and he falls in love for a woman who's older than him by a number of years, and that is the character played by Dil Chahta Hai and known as Tara Jaiswal. Now, they are just spending their life, they're having loads of fun. And obviously, parallelly, the story moves in contours where Akshay Khanna falls in love with Dimple, and he sort of shares it with Akash and Sameer. And then both of them, they make fun of him, they poke at him, and they say that, okay, this is bizarre. You can't get into a relationship with a woman who's older than you. That is where an argument flares up, and that's where Akash moves to Sydney to manage his father's business, and Siddharth Sid moves to Kasauli for an art workshop, and Sameer stays back in Mumbai. Now, amidst all this, they really start finding out the meaning of true love. They really start finding out the meaning of relationships. That is what the whole movie was all about. if I have to talk about some of the lines which were there in the movie, which are remembered even today. So one of the lines was, "Aaj pooja, kal koi dooja." Or there was another line which was, "Cake khane ke liye hum kahin bhi ja sakte hain." And then there was another line, there was an interaction for the first time in the second half. It's Akash, that is Amir Khan's character, and Preeti Zinta's character, Shalini. They meet for the first time in the second half in a flight to Sydney, where Akash says, "Arey wah, hum tino Sydney ja rahe hain, tum, main aur ye flight." So these were some of the lines which are remembered and which became quite popular. So the more, if I talk about the trivia of the film, so there were these things. I mean, it was written by a very young director, and it was his first film, and he was actually venturing into a completely new territory. Those were the days where there were those typical love stories which were being made. Again, this movie was shown to the then Deputy Prime Minister. There was a special screening arranged to the then Deputy Prime Minister of India, Mr. L.K. Advani, and he had also praised the movie. And this movie also ended up winning 2 national awards and loads of Filmfare and other movie awards. The music of this film is, I think, the soul of the film, and fantastic music by Shankar Ehsaan Loy. The songs Dil Chahta Hai, the title track, और जाने क्यों लोग प्यार करते हैं, और that song of Sonali Kulkarni and Saif Ali Khan still remains in our memory, and we love to watch. I believe we all love to watch these songs again and again. Now, if I look at the lessons which were drawn from this movie, I look at them in this way. I don't know if this is what I feel, but it may resonate with some of you. But you can let us know in the comment box that what were the lessons, or what were the things that inspired you, or what is your takeaway from Dil Chahta Hai. My first takeaway as far as Dil Chahta Hai is concerned is that coming of age is maturity. You mature as time progresses, or you also mature with experience, either ways. Number 2, it also talks about valuing our relationships. Our friends are always there for us, our relatives are always there for us, but we can't take them for granted. That's how there's a transformation that happens with Akash. When the argument happens, he comes back in the second half. When he falls in love with Preeti Zinta's character, with Shalini, he realizes the true meaning of love, and that's where he apologizes. He apologizes to his friend and Siddharth when they finally reunite. Number 3, I also feel that this movie also talks about empathy. It talks about true love, the meaning of true love, not just about in a particular relationship, but overall about love. It talks about empathy. Number 4, this movie also talks about this lifelong friendship. That if you really want to retain or sustain this lifelong friendship, there's a line which you should never cross, which possibly happens in the movie in the first half, where Akash crosses the line, and that's where Siddharth or Sid gets upset with him. And finally, it talks about the slice of life of formula, or the slice of life. What do I mean by that is just live your life with your friends, and just enjoy yourself. So towards the end of the movie, there's a scene where Akash, being that true spirited guy, he says to his friend कि वो देख सिद्धार्थ तेरा जहाज 6 महीने पहले इतना सा था, आज इतना बड़ा हो गया. So I think that is what were my takeaways from Dil Chahta Hai. So I'm sure you can watch this movie on YouTube and a couple of other OTT platforms as well. And this is Girish signing off, and see you next week with yet another video. And our Dil Chahta Hai that please like and share this video, and please subscribe Learnamytes. Thank you.